are made of steel with a maximum steel with a maximum safe static stress of 180 Newton per mm square. So this you can solve either by the previous method or this method also. So if specifically asked, you can use that method. Otherwise, whichever is convenient to you, you can use that. Okay. So the problem is like this: design a Spurgear drive required to transmit 45 kilowatt at a pinion speed of 800 rpm. The velocity ratio is 3.5 is to 1. The teeth are 20-degree full depth involute with 18 teeth on the pinion. Both pinion and gear are made up of steel with a maximum safe static stress of 180 Newton per mm square. Okay. Here both steel and sorry wheel and gear, pinion and gear are made up of same material. Okay. So first of all, we'll write the given thing. So given data. First, the power that needs to be transmitted is 45 kilowatt, and the pinion speed. So let us have the pinion speed as N1. So that is 800 rpm, and velocity ratio I, we know that is 3.5 is to 1, that is equal to 3.5. So the speed is going to be reduced by 3.5, that you know. Okay. So then what else is given? Pressure angle, that is represented as alpha, that is 20 degree. Okay. So power to be transmitted is 45 kilowatt. Speed of the pinion is 800 rpm. Speed ratio is 3.5, and the pressure angle is 20 degree full depth. Okay. So the other data given are these things. So the next data given are number of teeth on pinion. Let us have it as Z1, that is 18 teeth, and stress for both pinion and steel are 180 Newton per mm square. Newton per mm square. Sigma is 180 Newton per mm square. Okay. So as usual, the first step is the selection of the material, but here they have given the material for both the pinion and wheel as uh, steel. So selection of material for pinion and wheel is steel. So the grade we need not bother about it because the stress has been given already. So the grade we need not bother about it. So the second step in this method is the calculation of number of teeth on pinion and wheel. So calculation of number of teeth on wheel and pinion, or pinion and wheel. Okay. So Z1 is the number of teeth on pinion. So we know that it is nothing but given in the problem. So Z1 is 18. For Z2, we know the relation I into Z1. So I is 3.5, Z1 is 18. So this will be 63 teeth. So 18 teeth and 63 teeth are the number of teeth on pinion and wheel. So here next we should find a force called as tangential force or tangential load. For these kind of relations, you may refer page number 8.50. So from page number 8.50, you have the relations for these things. Okay, page number 8.50 will give you the relations for this thing. So first, what we are going to find is the FT. FT is nothing but transmitted load. Okay, so FT we need to find, that is nothing but transmitted load. So this relation is available on the page number 8.50. That is nothing but power divided by velocity into a factor called service factor. Okay, so here the service factor is assumed. Okay, so here I am assuming the service factor as 1.25. Power, that is nothing but 45 kilowatt. 45 into 10 to the power of 3 watt. Okay, and you need to find out the velocity of that pinion. Okay, so though the material for pinion and wheel are same, so you should concentrate on the design of pinion, because the pinion is going to rotate for more number of cycles than the wheel, that you know. So as far as the design of gears are concerned, so the design should be based on the pinion. So if pinion is safe, by default the gear will also be safe. Okay, so you need to find out the velocity. So velocity relation, so it is simply pi dn divided by 60. So here we are going to find out the velocity of pinion. So the relation can be written like this: pi d1 n1 divided by 60. Okay, so here you don't know the uh, diameter of the pinion. Okay, so the diameter of the pinion is not known now. No, the diameter can be determined, I think, isn't it? So the diameter is nothing but m into z. Okay, so in terms of module we should keep this. So diameter is not known now, but we can keep this in terms of m. Okay, so let us see how it is possible. Okay, now, so we know a relation called diameter equal to m into z. Okay, so now this you know already. Okay, so diameter equal to m into z. So for d1, m into z1, this also you know. So we'll keep m as unknown, so because we are going to find out the module. Z1 we know, that is nothing but 18. So now v is equal to pi d1 n1 divided by 60. So here by pi d1 m into 18 into speed is, what is the speed? The speed is 800 rpm. So let us have this as such. So this will be around 0.754 of m meter per second. So you should not get confused with this m and this m. This is the module and this is the velocity unit. Okay. So k naught we assumed as 1.5. So now we will find the transmitted load ft. So that is nothing but p into v into k naught. Okay. So after substituting the p as 45 into 10 to the power of 3 divided by velocity 0.754 of m into k naught as 1.20. So let us have this as a force transmitted ft as 74603 divided by m. This is the force transmitted. Okay, ft, and we will find out the dynamic load on the next step. So dynamic load, initial dynamic load FD. So for this also all the relations are available in page number 8.50. So for FD also you have the relation. FD is nothing but the FD is equal to FT into CV. Okay, FT into CV. So this relation is available in this way. So you FT from the previous step, CV is a factor. So this factor is, I think you have written. So sorry, FD is equal to FT into CV. This relation is available in page number 8.50. Okay. Now we'll find out CV. So CV is a factor. So CV is a factor. So I am assuming CV as this one. CV as 6 into 6 plus Vm divided by 6. So this is available in page number 8.51. You can refer this. Okay. So here Vm is assumed as 12 meter per second. So for this relation is for Vm 5 to 20 meter per second. So I am assuming my Vm as 12 meter per second. So the initial assumption. Finally, we will find out the corrected one. Okay. So now the dynamic load Fd is nothing but Ft into Cv. Okay. So here Ft is from the previous step 74603 divided by m into Cv 6 plus 12 meter per second divided by 6. So if you calculate this is coming around 223,809 divided by m. M is the module. Okay. So now we'll find out the beam strength. The next step is to find out, calculate beam strength, Fs. Okay. So beam strength, for beam strength, you have the relation on page number 8.50. So beam strength Fs is nothing but F pi m b within the bracket sigma b into y. Okay. So this relation has certain modification. Okay. So in your problem, sorry, in your data book, it is given as sigma b by into PC. Okay. So here for PC on the same page, so this is available in page number 8.50. So PC is nothing but uh, pi d z. Okay. So here I am rearranging this like this. Okay. So we know that d equal to m into z. D equal to m into z. That thing you know. Okay. So after substituting this in the above equation, sigma b by pi m z by z. So this will get cancelled. So then you have this relation pi m b sigma b into y. Okay. So this is how we arrived this relation. Okay. So now form factor. I think you are clear with this one. Okay. So this is how we arrived this relation. That is sigma b into pi m b y. Okay. Now we'll find out the pi is a constant, m is the module, b is the that is a phase width. Okay. So and sigma b is the stress that is given in the problem. Y is the form factor. For b, b is nothing but phase width. It is assumed as 10 times the m. From previous relation we know uh, b is assumed as 10 times of the module. Okay. So the other things are known. The form factor y can be determined from this relation 0.154 minus 0.912 divided by z. Okay. So this relation is available on 8.50, page number 8.50. For this form factor relation is available. So 0.154 minus 0.912, number of teeth is 18. So this is coming as I think around it is 0.308. Okay. So you may check it in the later part. So now you have the all the datas. Let us find beam strength Fs, that is nothing but pi m b sigma b y. Okay. So pi into m is kept as such. B is 10 times the m, and this is the stress. Okay. So that is given as 180 Newton per mm square. So let us change this into Newton per meter square, or you may keep it as such. So this is 180 into form factor is 308. Around this is coming as in terms of m 584.15 m square. Okay. So now you need to calculate the module based on the beam strength. Okay. So the next step is the calculation of calculation of, of module M. Okay. So in general, this Fs beam strength should be greater than or equal to the dynamic load Fd. Okay. So now you have Fs as 584.15 m square greater than or equal to Fd. So that is around 223809 of m. Okay. So after solving this, you have m as greater than or equal to 7.26 mm. Okay. So the next standard module m is 8 mm. So this is from page number 8.2. From page number 8.2, we can standardize this module. Okay. So next step, calculation of actual diameter and velocity and all. Okay. So calculation of b1 faced with one diameter of pinion and velocity. Okay. So b, that is taken as 10 times the module. So here 10 into 80 to 80 mm, and diameter of the pinion d1 m is at 1. So m is 80, z1 is 18, it is 144 mm, and velocity of the pinion pi d1 n1 divided by 60. So pi d1 is 144, n1 is I think, what is that, n1? N1 is 800 rpm divided by 60 into 1000, because this is in mm. So now the velocity is 6.03 meter per second. But the factor CV was obtained assuming the velocity as 12 meter per second, or the range was 5 to 20. So we were taking it as 12 meter per second. So now the actual velocity is 6 meter per second. Okay. So now we'll calculate the beam strength once again based on the above values. Okay. So we will recalculation of beam strength based on the actual values. Okay. So Fs is equal to phi mb sigma b into y. Okay. So after substituting, for this you need to find y. Uh, we'll substitute there itself. Okay. Uh, Pi m is 80, beams face width is 80 into 180 Newton per mm square. Y is the factor, that is 0.14 minus 0.912 divided by 18. So on solving this, the beam strength is coming as 37385.45 Newton. Okay. So you have some more steps. So let us stop here and we'll continue from the next class. Wait, I'll take attendance. Afterwards, you can leave. If you have any doubt, you may ask me. Here, it is not compulsory for you to follow any one of the method. So you have two options. You may follow any one of the method as per your convenience. Until otherwise, it is not asked in the problem. If in the problem itself they were asking specifically, you should use this method, so you should go for that particular method. Otherwise, you may select any of the two methods for solving this. இங்கே ஆப்சன்டேஜ் வந்து சாட்டில் போட்டிருக்கேன். அதில் யாராவது ப்ரெசென்ட் இருந்தீங்கன்னா சாட்லேயே ரிப்ளை பண்ணு. அதர்வைஸ் யூ கேன் லீவ்.
Thank you, sir.
இங்கே சாட்லேயே ரிப்ளை பண்ணுங்க. வாய்ஸ் எனக்கு ஆடியபிளாக இல்லை. சாட்டில் ரிப்ளை பண்ணு.